So now what I would like to do is bring up a number of customers and have a panel that's focused more on the business of how you use analytics, so not so much the technology. So let me welcome my panelists up. Justin Ward with Facebook. Gloria Bowen with Omega, and Dirk Izzo with Nielsen. Welcome, guys. Please join me. I love thinking that I'm Oprah Winfrey for a moment. Okay, so I can't do any of you justice. Let me allow you to introduce yourselves and tell a little bit about your company. So I'll start with you, Justin.
Okay, I'm Justin Ward. I work at Facebook. It's our mission to enable people to share and make the world more open and connected. And we do that with a pretty tremendous social network and a lot of data.
Great, thank you. Gloria.
Okay, so I'm a president and CEO of Omega World Travel and Cruise.com. And, it used to be that people thought travel agents were going away. Well, I also want to say that we do a lot of different things in travel, more than just writing tickets and sending people on tours. We also are very involved in making sure that our travelers are satisfied all the time when they're on the road. So we love mobile technology. And in addition to that, we have a variety of different corporations who are always looking to us to keep prices down, because travel spend and expense spend is one of their highest bottom line figures. So we're there trying to give them all that data and analytics. This is going to help them to control and to maybe predict the future as to what they want to do. And with Cruise.com, we're an internet player. We have a technology company. So we've really been very diversified over the years. It's been a lot of fun, continuing to grow.
Fantastic. Thank you. Dirk?
I'm Dirk Izzo. I'm with Nielsen, and I run the technology platforms for our business, and we'll talk more about some of the analytic capabilities. Most people know Nielsen as the ratings company. People always hear the TV ratings. But we're much more than that. We are in 45 countries where we do TV ratings, not just on television, but also on what people are looking at or watching on their tablets or the iPhones, and also radio. So it's really about impressions. And then the flip side of that is we're in 106 countries where we actually track consumer behaviors. And so we match those two things up. But at the end of the day, what Nielsen really does is it helps us measure the impressions that we as advertisers are making, and then which of those impressions are actually converting to sales. And so it's a nice combination of watching and buying.
Fantastic. So in the audience today, you have a number of organizations that are actually potential customers for you and users of you, and probably existing customers today. So when you are going to market to talk to prospective customers, how are you differentiating yourselves and your offerings? So Gloria, let me start with you.
Well, we really are saying to customers, the traveler, we're going to take care of you. We're going to give you prompts while you're on your trip as to what might be an opportunity. We're there for them if there's any travel schedules that get changed. We're there to take care of them for any emergencies that might take place. Now, we differentiate ourselves too by having the added ability to help customers control what they're spending. And even for us over the years, we've ridden this wave of new technology, gone from PCs to the mobile technology, internet, and so forth. But it really is very expensive for people to engage in changing how they're doing. So companies really want us to be there helping them to save money. And through our relationship with MicroStrategy, I feel that we've reached a new frontier too in helping people to understand that they're getting lower prices, better value, they can change their habits, we're on top of what's going on, and we have better controls. And that really is a big differentiation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How about you, Justin?
Sure. Well, Facebook has a big user base, but also a separate customer base, which is the business, is where we're trying to reach out to the right people. And I think the differentiator for Facebook is the completeness and up-to-dateness of the information that we have on people, so that everyone's happy in this situation when you're getting relevant advertisements as opposed to kind of weird off-the-wall things. Like they don't really know, they don't understand me. So it's that data set and its completeness that really differentiates us. And in order to support that, we've had to have a lot of infrastructure scale out. And so because we've been able to keep ahead of that and build a lot of our own hardware and software to support this, it's kept us out in front.
Great, great. How about you, Dirk?
I'd say that we're global. So being in 106 countries is very difficult to manage all that information. And especially when you go to countries like Indonesia or India or Africa where they don't have Costco's and you can't collect information from a Costco. You actually have to go out and audit stores. So you have 20,000 plus employees that are out there doing that. The second piece I would say is around our willingness to embrace third-party partnerships. And what I mean by that is in the 90s, we had proprietary database technology and proprietary front ends. We've really shifted our mindset considerably to partner with people like yourselves to really provide value to a broad use of consumers.
So let's cue on that, the value of it. So how can analytics help increase the value of the services and offering that you provide to those customers?
Yeah, I'd give you two examples. I mentioned before that we measure what people watch and what they buy. And right in the middle of those two things is something that people call marketing mix, which is really optimizing the spend that you make to make impressions on customers, and then transferring those spends into, obviously, transactions that people are willing to make. And so that's one area where we do a lot of analytics, a lot of modeling to help people understand what people are watching and buying and optimizing that. The second piece that I see a lot is around big data. There's a lot of data out there and people are trying to figure out exactly how do I manage that. The one thing that Nielsen has is very highly tuned panels. So we have 100,000 plus consumer panel in the US, and what retailers have is loyalty data. And so mashing those two things up gives a retailer the ability to understand the complete market, because loyalty data tells them what consumers are buying in their outlet. Mirroring that with the panel data tells them what they're buying in other outlets. And then from that, you can put specific marketing programs together to address those people and attract them back into your store to buy the things that they would have purchased somewhere else.
That's great, great. You mentioned the buzzword of the year, big data. Facebook, no one understands that better than you. So talk about how analytics is empowering you to better service your customers.
Sure. Yeah, analytics is what allows us to do all this stuff at scale. Imagine that you have a close group of friends, like 5 or 6 friends that you really know well and you can recommend things for them. You might have a friend that recommends music to you or places to eat. Our goal is to be that, but at a larger scale. We want to know everyone well enough to be that great recommender and connect people to other people, to the news and interesting stuff going on around the world, as well as the businesses that they might enjoy. So we've been able to employ analytics to algorithmically scale that out to as large an audience as possible, and then offer that as a relationship bridger between different parties.
That's great. And Gloria, we were talking at dinner last night that you're in the travel business, but oftentimes you're in the information business yourself. So talk about that.
Yeah, so we're in the information business also because, like both Justin and Dirk, we are looking always to learn more about our customers. And therefore, if we're learning more about our customers, the information that we are providing back to them is going to be more useful, and they'll be able to build on it. And then we'll be able to fashion our service levels to those needs. So I see technology as being, sort of a lifeblood for how we're going to operate in the future. And I kind of laughed a little bit when I heard our speaker from Guess, because you said that he was originally a CIO and now he's the COO, which is a big step, because I remember the Wall Street Journal talking about how they changed their newspaper, their business section, to business and tech, because they were saying that the potential CEOs are going to be coming from the tech world. So that's kind of good news for the folks in the room.
Very much so.
Because it is so important for us to really get a pulse on people. And once we get a pulse on what people want, then we do better. But we also are able to control better, and then we're able to negotiate better. And then we're able to go out and get the kind of information that we can keep pushing to them. But it also is extremely important for us to be quality control oriented ourselves in business. So as an owner, somebody who's very worried about bottom line, salaries, and the whole thing, and being very efficient, it's very important for us to use these analytics for ourselves because quality control and management is key, and that's how we use our data too, about ourselves.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
So I think we've established we're all in the information business, and it's what differentiates us. So as you were considering who to partner with on this journey of analytics, what were some things that you were considering before you made your decision to partner with us? So Dirk, I'll start with you.
Yeah, so we've partnered with Facebook, we've partnered with MicroStrategy, we've partnered with a lot of people in this room, I'm sure. But the idea and concept is that 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2, it equals more than 2 and 3 for both parties. I think some of the things in our partnership with MicroStrategy that are interesting is I think we bring things to you, ideas and concepts to you that you haven't faced before, things like non-additive facts, because we do project to different levels in the database hierarchies. So that's one thing, and I think the flip side of that is you bring a lot of stuff to us and a lot of innovations from other industries, and we've become more open as a company to embrace those things. So I think in a true partnership with both yourself and with Facebook, I think that 1 + 1 equals more than 2, and we both benefit from that arrangement.
I agree completely. Justin, let me have you answer that one.
Sure. Well, we obviously did a lot of forethought into scale at Facebook, and the idea being if we want to connect the whole world, we need to be able to support the data of the whole world. And so in our considerations, we had to consider connectivity and scalability. We have a lot of moving parts as a company. Some of them we've built, like I mentioned before. Some of them we're partnered with companies like MicroStrategy on. And we wanted to make sure it would fit well into our ecosystem that way, and also scale up to the amount of data we needed to serve out.
I think you pretty much defined scale. Big scale. How about you, Gloria?
Well, I'm always impressed with anyone who's creative. I believe in fostering an entrepreneurial spirit, and I've been through a lot of different reporting cycles with different companies, technology companies. I have my own. But what you look for, and one of the reasons why I'm very excited about MicroStrategy is because I see how creative the company is, how easy it is for us to get into using the product. I see in the room, just the people I met yesterday, very creative. People here are using the technology in a lot of different reasons, a lot of different ways. So for somebody who has been through a lot of expenditure over the years, I see finally, we're doing something, and we've got some good people to work with that are partnering with MicroStrategy, like DataStrong, et cetera. So, I finally feel like, this is great, and I think that the other way that you really evaluate a company is by the people who use them. So you've got great users, and from when I go out to bid on an account, they always want to know, who are my vendors? What's their quality control measures? Are they growing? All of that kind. So I feel good.
Great. And for all of you who have served as references for us, thank you. That it always makes a big difference. Okay, so you have a number of peers in the group, and some of them are at different levels of this journey, different levels of maturity as they're going down this path in analytics. So, Dirk, let me start with you. What advice would you have for your peers who are just beginning on this journey?
Yeah, I think the advice would be to fail fast, right? We see a lot of people, especially with big data, overanalyzing. Set yourself a target as to what the outcome is that you want, and don't spend a ton of time, trying to get there. Get there quickly, fail quickly, and take small steps. As I said, we see a lot of people that spend months doing something, only to find out that it's not going to work long term. So that would be my one piece of advice: fail quickly.
I think I don't think many users are patient to wait a year for an answer any longer. I think you have to go much more quickly. Yeah.
Agreed.
Justin, how about you?
Sure. My advice would be carpe datum, right? Seize the data. Every company's got to have a great idea and great people and great execution, but you're going to have to differentiate yourself at some point by pulling ahead and scaling. If your business is going to grow, your data is going to grow, and it's going to be harder to manage all that unless you have a good, solid grasp on your data. So find people that are really going to be able to think that way and help you grow the way you want to grow.
That's awesome. All right, Mark Gamble, note to you backstage, please copyright Carpe Datum. There will be t-shirts, I'm sure. Thank you for that. Gloria.
Well, I think that we know what we're looking for. We constantly have to be, of course, querying our customers. A lot of times our customers don't really know exactly what they want, so we have to lead them a little bit by the hand. But I think in order to get started, I think you have to figure out, well, let's get into a little bit of a beta test. Let's try some things out and move forward, because our customers tend to be sort of our best referrals.
Absolutely, absolutely. So any final thoughts or anything else based upon what you've heard today or from Mike's session yesterday that you would add?
Yeah, I just want, one of the things, so we're going through a big transformation right now on our back-end platform. And one of the things I always find is there's a lot of resistance to change. So I'm sure all of you are experiencing this in the audience right now today. So I would encourage you to ask the question, why not? Right? I can't tell you how many times a day I ask that question, and make people go back and rethink about things, because our human nature is to not change. It's to keep doing what we're doing today. That's just part of our DNA. And really asking that question, driving that change is really going to be, it's going to help, I think, everybody. It definitely helps me and the teams that I work with in making the changes required to drive more value for our clients.
Dirk, that is such a great point. When I am speaking with customers and they're invoking on a new application or switching off of some other technology, they say, you know what, we just have to give them what they have today.
Oh, that's the kiss of death.
It's the kiss of death. Justin, you're smiling too. How would you react to that?
Yeah, it's definitely true. I think it's a danger that you're facing if you're not learning all the time. And an opportunity to be at a conference like this is something you should embrace. Learn from the people around you. If you have a problem, no matter how big or small, ask someone near you if they've experienced it. You might find that there's a feature out there you hadn't heard of that addresses it, or that there's some way to fix it, or another way to approach it. And don't let the relationship end here. Talk to everyone that you've met outside of this conference.
That's great.
Keep the conversation going.
I often feel at these events I'm a yenta. I'm just connecting customer to customer to have a conversation. Gloria, I'm particularly interested in asking you, as a CEO, I think there are a lot of CEOs who are not nearly as forward-thinking as you are, and technology is daunting. Technology is intimidating, but yet you seem to have embraced it. So when these folks are trying to sell their C-level business executives on, yes, you need to be using a dashboard. You need to be there yourself using it. What advice would you give to them on how to talk to CEOs?
Well, let me say that I do sometimes fear the technology folks, because, sorry, because sometimes they take too long to do things, or they always want to know what's the budget and how much more time do I have. My problem is that I have to keep doing things right now. I've got people on the road. I've got companies saying, well, why should I book with you? And they want information. It's like now. Okay, so what I would say is try to get it straight that you are not going, that time is of the essence. We have to get to market, okay? And so if it means that you have to work 24 hours and bring a cot to work or whatever you're doing, do it, because I can tell you I've wasted a lot of money on technology, and I don't want to do that anymore. And when I took a lot of my own fate in my own hands when it came to developing a search engine and booking engine for the internet, we decided we were only going, this was what we could spend, this is what we were going to do, and we got it done. And the first phase of Cruise.com was really more or less just an electronic website, or and people were not booking electronically; they were emailing us. But I did put some people's pictures, agents' pictures, up on the website, and I thought I had died and gone to heaven, because all of a sudden, in 2 days, I had over 300 inquiries for cruises, which would have taken me a couple of years the old way. So I'd say that sometimes you're not going to be perfect in the beginning. It's not everything, because technology is always changing, evolving, growing. That's the beauty of it. So you have to start maybe small, and then tell your CEO that it's going to get better, and engage people into that discovery.
Great advice. Dirk,
Yeah.
you wanted to add
I
something?
was just going to add, I think that's spot on. One of the concepts I think we're embracing now more than ever is the concept of a minimal viable product, right? Historically, you'd sit there and say, this is what I want to build over the next 2 years, but that's no longer possible. So we really are focused on what's the minimal viable product we can get out there so we can get a reaction from the consumers and build from there. I think Facebook's obviously very good at this, right? But I think that's one of the things that we as a company are embracing right now.
Sure.
Give them a taste
Yeah,
so they can learn and iterate and adapt with you. I think that's been a recurring theme from all of our customers today. So, Dirk, Gloria, Justin, I can't thank you enough. I mean, can you imagine? I'm up here in very rarefied air with these folks. So thank you so much for being here. And please enjoy the rest of the conference. Thank you so much. That was fantastic. That was awesome. Thank you. Thanks.